Well, I think there's one thing that I would mention, and that is, and as you know, James, because you've been part of this, what we see happening in schools that have adopted the habits of mind, I think is truly phenomenal. And for example, when an entire staff and a community, including the parents, adopt a common language, so they're all talking about the same thing, and there's a sharing of events and sharing of indicators that they all share. What it does is to build a community in the school that goes beyond anything else that I've ever seen. I know that when we have in the US schools that need to be accredited, I think you do too in Australia. And when Waikiki was accredited, the accreditor said they've never seen anything like it, that the whole staff and the community were focused on the same outcomes. They spoke the same language. You could see the habits of mind repeated at every grade level in every classroom. And that unity, that consistency, that bonding of a staff is one of the most amazing and phenomenal experiences I've ever had in a school.
Wow. It's a hard act to follow, Bena, but did you want to add anything to that?
I mean, you know, it's so beautiful and it's so well said. I guess the only thing I would add is I'm not ready to be done. So if you're asking, you know, what are my last words? I hope they're not.
I wasn't asking last words at all, don't get me wrong.
What I will say is that I do feel very much challenged by each, you know, I would say that so we've been working together and with this for really 30 years. And I think that every maybe 10 years, some new cycle of something runs through education and through society. So it's not just education, it's like it affects the workplace, it affects everything. And so we've gone through these cycles, and I'm finding that the challenge to understand how to make something that's as classic as the habits of mind find their location in the many different contexts of change is very challenging, very exciting, and it continues to, I feel, grow the work. So when you found the context of, for example, looking at it through growth mindset, and then you found the context of then saying, well, growth mindset is good, but it doesn't quite describe it enough. And you went into the agile learner, and then you started putting it all together. To me, that's the most exciting thing, is to find new contexts, synergize, and bring them together so that it gives the work more meaning. So for that reason, I believe that it will have a life as long as people continue to shape it, work with it, and try to do what they can to make it both classic and flexible.
And James, I would also add to that much appreciation to you. You've been working with us for a good number of years, and over that time you have stretched our thinking, you have furthered the field, you've added to the literature, and you've strengthened the habits of mind tremendously with all of your work. And the leadership that you have given to it is very much noticed as well as appreciated. So we want to thank you very much for all that you have contributed, not only to us, but to the schools around the world.
Thank you. That's very touching. I really do appreciate that. And moreover, I think, and I speak for a lot of people here, that I appreciate the work both of you have put into this over such a long period of time. That Bena used the word classic. And I think they're classics because they're authentic, they're real, they're part of the world, and they will find a home naturally in schools, in businesses, in families. And when we do that, and when we integrate the habits of mind into what we do, we see communities like Waikiki and the families that Bena talked about, and the businesses that we're starting to see embrace the habits of mind really thrive. And they thrive because we are in this VUCA world, that volatile, uncertain, changeable, ambiguous world. And we need these habits of mind in order to thrive in that environment. And for the two of you to have gifted this work, this clarity around this work to the world, has served to make it a better place. And I know I speak for a lot of people when I express our deep gratitude for what you have done in that time. So thank you.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today with Art Costa and Bena Kalik. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've learned something new. I thought I was going to be repeating some old stuff, but always learn something new talking to these two beautiful people. Thank you both again, and hopefully we'll have a chance to have another conversation like this in the very near future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.